Greetings, what's up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is shining and the magpie is casting. Coming at you guys right now with a live 1 versus 1 battle featuring spawning in the south. It's going to be the Vermax forces of Don't Know. And spawning in the north, it's going to be the United States forces of SoE Overlord. The map here is going to be, this is Angerville, I think, isn't it? My god, I really should know this map, seeing as how it's one of my favourites now. That is going to be the setup here. And we've got an immediate here pick of the Mech Assault Doctrine, and even, wow, some Assault Grenadiers on the field. So, Don't Know is going to be getting stuck straight in with this Doctrine and committing hard. That's good to see and should make for an interesting game. I often see players go for these Assault Grenadiers in the reasonably early game, and then if they actually keep them alive all game, you know, they can actually pay off, like, reasonably. So, you know, we'll see how he does with this unit. They can do reasonably well. I think it's harder to have them do well against USF, just because USF have a lot of units whose damage really ramps up at close range. You know, the lieutenant, even the captain, rifleman, especially once they get weapon racks. You know, you have a really hard time, you know, really lasting at close range against those units. But anyway, we'll see if these Assault Grenadiers can get some work done. They do have sprint. They do have a funky grenade package. Yeah, so as the two players move out, and we're going to see some initial scuffles developing, just a quick update about the weekend. Of course, I was at the PC Gamer Weekender. Much fun was had. A great time, I think, had by all. It was fantastic to meet some of the players from the community. Love Nest, Easy, Helping Hands were there. That was really fun. Met Monolithic Bacon, the map maker, Top Geezer. And of course I met Stormless and AE, the other casters, and Kyle, the community manager from Relic. So yeah, it was hilarious. I think, Kluge was there as well, and I'm probably forgetting like a load of people who are going to be like, Magpie, you're such a dick if they ever watch this video. But anyway, yeah, it was just really good times. It was really good times, and yeah, thanks to everybody who was there. That was just awesome. Really enjoyed myself, and I'm kind of hoping that we can arrange some kind of other community event coming up. But anyway. So, yeah, and then on Sunday night, that was last night, and indeed right the way up into Monday morning, I was casting the North American ESL. That was awesome. I don't have the VODs on the channel, and they won't probably be coming up on the channel, because we actually cast it on Tightropes Twitch, not my own, so I'm not in command of those things. But, yeah, it's... I think if he uploads the VODs, then I can put them onto my channel, so hopefully I can get that NA ESL Cup number 10 up onto the channel in due course. Suffice to say, it was a very entertaining tournament, very bizarre actually. The early rounds, the games were just weird, I will admit they were just weird. But then the later rounds really started delivering. Players like Momo, players like Von Ivan, Paul, Vindicare, you know, showing us some really good games. So yeah, a fantastically amusing time had by all there as well. Now let's see. Let's turn our attention to the future. There will be no top-notch Team League cast this evening. I'm afraid my co-caster for that Festive Long Johns is still away. I believe he's moving house or on holiday or something really fun / life eventy. I'm not quite sure. So yeah, no sign of him. So there won't be a top-notch Team League thing this evening. I'll put an announcement to that effect up on the Twitter shortly. But you know, rest assured that will be back very soon, because I do enjoy doing it. Well, these Assault Grenadiers taking a lot of fire actually here. This last Panzer Grenadier Sergeant going to make a run for it here. He's going to get out of there, so pretty close run thing there for Don't Know. But yeah, let's see. So that's the top-notch Team League, and then let's see, moving forwards this week, I believe this weekend I may be hosting the EU ESL. I need to confirm that with the other casters, but I believe it's my turn. So that should be a good laugh. That will be coming up on Sunday, of course. And yeah, throughout the week I'll just be, you know, casting some fun games off of the ladder and getting any other casting action I can sink my teeth into. So, you know, stay tuned for more, as they say. Let's turn our attention to this game. Don't Know is doing some awfully funky stuff with a lot of Assault Grenadiers here. He's got 1, 2, 3 squads of them now. They're all out and about on the map doing stuff. I'm not sure how effective this is being yet, but if you look at the map, actually, he has actually been able to generate a reasonable amount of control with this. So clearly somewhat is the answer to how effective this has been. For Overlord, it looks like we've got 4 squads of riflemen right now. I will go and check the American base shortly, but I imagine he's going for Lieutenant and/or Captain Tech. We'll see. Actually, he still has a lot of fuel, so maybe not. Actually, maybe that's just about to start coming. It's going. Whoop. Okay, yeah, so no sign of Captain or Lieutenant Tech just yet. We'll see what the choice is going to be moving forwards. He does have that 3/4 ton ambulance, though, so he's going to be able to heal his units. That is actually parked reasonably far forward in this position just here, just to the north of the Dream House, on the right-hand side of this map. Also, some American forces, looks like rear echelons, at the moment going unopposed on the left, chewing up some ground, so that's finally good for Overlord, who, it's fair to say, has fallen behind this game. His resource income has been eclipsed by that of the Axis player, don't know. Let's check the tech here for the Axis player. Seemingly, he's gone to Battle Phase 1. He does have his infantry company, which, bear in mind, not everyone who goes for Mech Reg this early does. And he is constructing his Life of the Mechanized company. So he also has the medical bunker with the medics healing in his base. So things looking pretty rosy for Don't Know insofar as tech goes. He's actually fleshing out his tech tree very nicely. Pardon me. Which, you know, sometimes I feel Wehrmacht players these days increasingly feel tempted to skip tech, and it increasingly seems to kill them. Case in point, Mobile Defense Doctrine. It's nice to see that he is going for the tech and respecting that. Let's just check the American base. It looks like it is going to be Captain Tech. So, yep, Captain here. Going to be the weapon of choice for SoE's Overlord as we move forward here. We've got some fighting here, just at this dream house occupied by the USF at the moment. These Grenadiers, they probably want to think twice before they commit to this fight. Riflemen in heavy cover at that sort of range, not a fight that they'll take handily. These Assault Grenadiers also getting shredded at reasonably close range. Oh dear, yeah, they're going down. The Garand rifle is just so potent. And I don't know if Don't Know is paying attention to this force. Haha, I don't know if Don't Know is paying attention. Lol. Yeah, there we go. He is going to fall that squad back just in the nick of time. Actually trading this Rifleman squad all the way down to just 2 men. And a 2-2-2. Continuing the theme of twos as this 2-man squad falls back. Gonna be the choice here for Don't Know. Now, of course, that 222 scout car has been buffed. Recently, it was, I believe, was it the February the 25th patch, I believe? It got like a third more health, so that is now actually just quite a good unit. And, you know, we have seen some spam, as is always the case when units get buffed and players want to feel out how good they are or not. But I actually think that the 222 feels just right now. Like, I think it's always felt like a bit of a rubbish bargain for the Wehrmacht players. Like, it's always just been a bit rubbish, really. Hasn't really performed that well. So I think it actually feels just right now, and I'm really, really excited about it in the game. And in fact, it's actually made me start playing Wehrmacht a bit more recently, which is great, because they're a really good faction to play. And they do need something more going for them, I feel, because their squads are just so fragile. Anyway, I am drifting from the point. Here comes that 222 rolling out onto the field now. It's going to find a couple of Rifleman squads here. Now, there is a Star of Veterancy just now gained on this squad of Riflemen, so an anti-tank vehicle grenade could come down onto this 222. That would be a sweet choice right now. But for now, that 222, yeah, there we go. The rifle grenade comes down, does break the engine, forces that 222 to get back, and we've got mixed fighting right the way across the map right here. These riflemen are going to be laying into these assault grenadiers, and I worry right now for Don't Know. Look at his lineup here. His roster is just not that impressive. Against 4 rifleman squads and a captain, he's got 3 assault grenadier squads and a grenadier and like a 222. That is not great. These assault grenadiers going to fall back with precision timing there. That was a close one for Don't Know, but I feel like he had that one absolutely well measured in his mind. And if I crack the tactical map, check this out. Like, he's like, you know, he's being able to push right the way across the map. The majority of this map turning blue right now. This is really, really good stuff here from Don't Know. Yeah, his map control is actually fantastic, and he's going to increase this resource lead, which he's been able to generate thus far in the game. So this is actually really impressive. How on earth he's getting this much work done against this opposing force from Overlord, I'm not quite sure. Overlord, though, he's gone ahead and locked in his commander. Tactical Support Company going to be the weapon of choice here, and you can already see the 1919 A6 LMGs rolling out across a few of these rifleman squads, so that is going to considerably up their firepower. They are going to be able to absolutely bully and dominate these Axis squads, so Don't Know is going to have to respond to this. He's also going to have to respond to the Stuart, which is just now entering the field, the plucky light tank. Going to be doing a little bit of a Tokyo drift and rocking on out onto the field here. Pardon me. And it looks like Overlord is serious about taking the left of the map. Those LMGs are just brutal. The damage is just racking, just destroying these grenadiers. They're getting utterly hooned on. Here come some pioneers, but I imagine it will be the same story there. Despite the clustering of these riflemen, there's not even going to be an opportunity for the flamethrower to get any work done. And Don't Know is forced to retreat his troops. The 222 desperately kiting right now. He needs to keep kiting, or else he's going to get hit by the anti-tank rifle grenade. Here we go. Yep, he is going to keep kiting. So nicely done there. That is absolutely what he needs to do. Meanwhile, on the right flank, the Stuart finds some more Assault Grenadiers. And wow, I just think I Don't Know's entire army right now is totally outclassed. We do have a Pat Gun entering the field, and that is going to give him some game against this Stuart, but I don't know, that Pat Gun is a really juicy target for all this lethal infantry that the American forces have. And there's so much veterancy beginning to clock up over this infantry as well. Like, mostly 2-star, 1 squad, 1-star is pretty intimidating. And this Stuart, if he wants, can really, really push. The captain's here with Zooks. Manages to get a hit onto the 222 as well. So the 222 is going to have to lie low for a second here. And Don't Know is in some serious trouble. Look at the mini-map. SoE Overlord is pushing up hardcore right now. He's grabbing land pretty much across the map. He takes the dream house here with the captain, and he's going to start gunning down these grenadiers. Oh no, these grenadiers fighting at point blank range. The Pat Gun is also going to be exposed. There we go. Don't Know gets on top of it and micros that one back. But he's in a hard place right now. He is definitely under the gun. He needs some tougher troops out here. And I'm not really sure what the answer is. Like, grenadiers just aren't going to cut it. Assault grenadiers are too expensive and ineffectual. Although having said that, 2 squads of them will be able to rush up onto this building. They probably could use the grenade barrage if they want to get that captain out of there. The Stuart's going to come across to reposition. But I feel like even if Don't Know goes for Panzer Grenadiers, like, Panzer Grenadiers just don't work against these 1919 LMG Grenadiers. So I think he needs MG42s, really, and possibly even a mortar squad to punish all this hardcore American infantry that's all over the field right now. Wow, this Pat Gun in a pretty risky position, actually. The Stuart could get round behind it fairly easily. There are riflemen here as well. I don't know about this, because if he loses the Pat Gun, things are going to go super bad. Speaking of Pat Guns and AT guns, the American player here going to invest in an M1 anti-tank gun. That piece just now rolling onto the field. So a little bit of a preemptive insurance policy there for the American player. Also, that's going to give him a little more game against this 222. Not that he particularly needs it. I feel like he has the 222 covered anyway. Anyway, let's go check the tech here. No sign of battle phase 2, so it looks like the Stug E, the good old Stug Light, is going to be relied upon here for Don't Know to help carry him through this mid-game. And it's going to be rough, though. It's going to be really rough, because we already have an M1 AT gun, and he's not going to have access to those little Stugs for some time here. Anyway, using the 222 here to support his close-range troops, and they are close-range, Assault Grenadiers and the Pioneers with the Flamethrower, not really capable of doing a lot of damage at long range. So, yeah, but able to push back these Riflemen for now, getting some pretty good damage on, indeed. What actually are the veterancy abilities here, or upgrades for Assault Grenadiers? So they get First Aid, of course, then they get increased survivability and weapon control, which is pretty good, and then they get improved accuracy at Vet 3. So mostly it's just damage buffs with a survivability buff at Vet 2. So that all sounds like it could be quite good. The 222 here coming quite far out. Going to be taken out by a Zoot from the captain in the building here. Puts some damage onto the Stuart, so that will force it back to repair, but only briefly, of course. Remember, American vehicle crews do repair pretty rapidly. And the situation here really has spiraled a little bit out of control for the Axis player. Let's crack the tack, and you can see what I mean. Like, the American forces are just, like, being absolutely resurgent right now, pushing right the way across the map. Those 1919 LMGs have really bolstered the forces, and, like, you know, let's just consider just the mainline infantry squads, which at the moment is the captain and 4 rifleman squads, versus the 3 assault grenadier squads and the 2 grenadier squads. Like, the Axis infantry in that comparison is just completely outclassed. The 5-man squads with the brutally powerful LMGs, and indeed the captain with his Tommy gun and bazooka, just way outclass these little squads with their K98K rifles and their little piddly MP30 submachine guns. You know, there are some LMG 42s beginning to pop up now on the German infantry, which is going to be absolutely vital. But even then, like, the Grenadiers just don't really have the durability they need to leverage that MG42 for long in combat. What I mean is, they basically take damage so fast from the American troops, they're forced to fall back. So the actual benefit provided by this by this MG42 is pretty slim. Like, yeah, look, see, they're just going to have to fall back before they even get a burst off in this engagement. So I feel like, basically, just because the American infantry is so strong and the Axis infantry is so fragile, these MG42s don't mean as much as they would against, say, Soviets. And Don't Know is forced into this position on the right flank. Now, to his credit, he has actually been able to keep a hold of 2 of the victory points this whole time, and he's opened up quite the score lead. 471 tickets for Don't Know, over 385 right now for Overlord, so just over 100 ticket, sorry, just under 100 ticket lead. Is pretty spicy, actually, given how this game has looked so far. And I have to say, I'm very impressed with Don't Know and the amount of work that he's been able to get done in the face of, like, basically horrendous American aggression. He's actually managed to make his fighting force look reasonably competitive. He's held on to large amounts of the map. He took an early resource lead, and he's now opening up a score lead, which, like, in my head just should never happen against this amount of American infantry, especially with the amount of veterans he's been able to get. Now, there is a pack howitzer back here in the base, and that is hooning shells in now. That's going to make life even harder here. As this guy just gets cut down on the retreat. That's going to make life even harder for Don't Know. And look, the Stug E is so wounded. He's going to have to... he should get that back and start... But I don't know about repairing it here. The Stuart could quite happily take a dive. Even the captain could just get a Zook shot quite easily. Here comes that Stuart now. Oh, the Stug reveals itself. So he knows that there's a terribly wounded Stug back here. The Pack Gun, though, finds a fantastic hit coming through here. Here come the Grenadiers. They actually find a nice position and are getting some bursts off by using the Assault Grenadiers to push the American infantry so that the American infantry isn't standing and shooting. Those Grenadiers were actually able to get quite a few licks of MG42 fire onto the American infantry, murdering some of these Yanks, and actually being able to hold on again here. Don't know, actually. He's doing the textbook correct move. Like, I see too many players either decide that Assault Grenadiers are good and use them, or that they're not good and stick to Grenadiers. The fact is, you're actually much better off using the strengths of both. You know, like, the sum of the whole is better than the parts of the misspoken saying. What I mean is, the total of the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, you know? Like, if you have the Assault Grenadiers and the Grenadiers, you'll actually do really well, but actually there are now 2 pack howitzers, is that right? That felt like 2 pack howitzer shots. Okay. Well, anyway, he gets out of the dream house, which is going to get crushed. Pack howitzer here going to be more than enough to bring that one down, I think. There it goes. Yeah, so by using Assault Grenadiers to force the American infantry to keep moving and have to focus fire the Assault Grenadiers, your actual Grenadiers can actually be bought enough time to use those LMG-42 upgrades. So I have to say, I really like what I'm seeing here from Don't Know. I think he needs another Stug E, though, if he's going to hold on. He's being very brave trying to go without it. Anyway, grenade comes down into these Assault Grenadiers, but actually does very little damage. And these Assault Grenadiers are chewing up these riflemen because they're just standing here in the open and just taking it from these MP30s. There's also support coming through from the Stug, and a mortar squad now taking to the field. GR34 is here. Here comes the strafing run, though. The P47 strafing run. Gonna find the pack gun. That's gonna force that one back. How many munitions is that? 125? Ooh. That seems like quite a lot. I mean, I know it suppresses, but that still seems like quite a lot. And look, somehow, even being active on the left of the map, Don't Know is like borderline genius right now. I am so amazed he's being this effective with this lineup of infantry against this hardcore American shizzle. This is like so impressive. And now he's got the 2-star vet on a number of these squads. They're actually reasonably resilient. Uh-oh, a little bit of a miss micro here. Just these guys moving across. Yeah, forced to fall back there. A little bit of a shame there for Don't Know, but anyway, yeah. I mean, at least having a try at getting some play on the left flank of this map, which is very difficult given his current lineup. This GR34 at the moment falling victim to the pack howitzer. He's going to need to move that, and he does. So he's going to get them the hell out of that particular dodge. Wow, what a situation! But he's continuing to open up this score lead. Well, okay, no, it's still around. Yeah, no, he has opened it up. It's like 109 tickets now, which is more than the 85 it was last time I looked. He's actually going to be building a fuel cache as well. Don't Know is playing this out very well. I worry for him so much because in my head, like, if you look at the top left and then look at the top right, like, the American army should just win, like, horribly. Look at the supply difference. It's 76 for Overlord and it's 56 for Don't Know. But Don't Know's just playing this, like, textbook Wehrmacht style with the Assault Grenadiers. It's really nice, you know. He's got the pack gun doing its thing, he's got the mortar doing its thing, he's got the Stug E doing its thing. But there's a Stuart on the flank here. The Stuart can catch this pack gun. He's going to get the pack gun. That is brutal. And now the Stuart actually has quite a lot of free reign to get some work done. Rifleman going to be pushing up here, and there's the AT rifle grenade. The engine is now broken on this Stug E, which means that the M1 AT gun and the Stuart can capitalize if they want to, and if they can. No scouting, though, and no attack ground round is forthcoming from the M1, so actually maybe this Stug is actually going to limp away and get repaired. Don't Know is being very brave, not calling in another Stug E. Like, he's just being so brave. I feel like his judgment and his decision-making is absolutely on point, like, to a razor's edge. He knows exactly what he needs. I mean, if he gets this wrong for a split second, it's just over. You know, like, the last 10 minutes of play, it's pretty much been one wrong and you're out for the Axis player. But he hasn't dropped, like, a single unit He hasn't... Okay, sorry, he dropped the pack gun, but he's able to recrew that. And he, like, you know, he's just actually played this really, really well. This mortar needs to get out, though. His mortar is now exposed. He seems to have forgotten about the mortar. This could be the first gap, the first crack in the defense of Don't Know. The fallback comes down, but the fallback's terribly slow because they have to finish the firing animation. They managed to hoist up the mortar and start running, but the focus fire from the American forces could be real here. The received accuracy on the mortar crew is pretty high. One of the members goes down. But it looks like they're actually going to be able to exfiltrate safely as well. 3-star Grenadiers now in this building, the next weakest link in the chain of Axis power here. Grenadiers going to get out. They dodge the grenade with perfect timing, and they juke back into the building, being joined by Flamer Pioneers. Here comes another Pineapple. Is Don't Know going to be able to save this one? Okay, he gets splashed horribly, but doesn't lose a squad. And now 10 Assault Grenadiers are going to come rushing through. And he's going to push the Americans back again. Don't Know. I don't know how you're doing this. Oh man, I couldn't do this. Like, I really couldn't do this. I mean, there's a lot of things I couldn't do in this game because I'm not actually that good, but, you know, I so couldn't do this. I'd love to see what his pulse rate is right now. Like, you know, if he's wearing one of those, like, Fitbit watches or something like that. TM's, product sponsoring. Then, yeah, that would be an interesting, you know, to have that biometric data. But anyway, whoa, he's actually going for a squad wipe on this. Okay, he's not going to get it, but the fact that he's even going for a squad wipe on one of these American squads is, like, just breaking my mind right now. Anyway, we've got a Jackson coming in, and this has to be in anticipation of the fact that Overlord knows that there's a Tiger looming on the horizon here. Pineapple going to go down, kills one of these Assault Grenadiers, but they're going to actually trade long enough for these Riflemen to be forced back, and that leaves just the Major, who I'm sure these Assault Grenadiers would be more than happy to spray down through the windows. The Stuggy chipping in another round as well. Lovely stuff here from Don't Know. And, like, here's the thing. He's like, slightly behind on resources, but he's actually managed to hold both of the victory points this whole time. So he's now at 459 over 300. He is actually taking care of business. You know, like, he's actually making this work. Like, he is actually winning, like, which I just am amazed to say. This pack howitzer here, going to start chipping in more hits, though. The mortar needs to think about GTFOing. Here comes that Jackson as well, which means that this Stug-E is probably not long for this world. Stuart's going to crawl back and repair here, because that was taking a few hits there from the pack gun, I think. Where is the pack gun right now? Yeah, from the pack gun. So, wow. Damn it, Don't Know's a monster. This is really impressive stuff. Stuggy continuing to chip in damage. The Jackson, I imagine, will probably transition across, maybe take up the right flank and try and get this Stuggy. Now achieving 2 stars of veterancy. Grenade comes down. It's not that great. That was from the Assault Grenadiers, I believe. Light Artillery Barrage going to be used in a fantastic position. That forces a snap fallback on a number of American squads, but some of them are staying. I believe the radius on this barrage is not actually large enough to catch any of the other guys. So a valiant attempt there. But no damage being dealt, although, you know, the damage that was dealt... Whoa! Okay, he actually nearly kills this Rifleman squad, and the Stug-E could clean it up. Nah, he's not going to get to. No line of sight there available. And now, look, the 3-star Assault Grenadiers are actually just going to flush these American squads. Wow, almost looking for a squad wipe there. Okay, now here comes the Stuart, though. Finds the rear armor on this Stug. This is dangerous times now. Also catches the pack gun off guard, so the Stuart can just run amok here. Here comes a P-47 hitting up the Stug and the pack gun just a little, but a Faust comes down, and that's going to force the Stuart back again. So Don't Know is able to cover this, and again, like, he just didn't drop any units through that. The mortar made it out, the pack made it out, the Stug made it out, all of the infantry squads made it out. They're all at like 3-star vet right now, and he picks up the Stuart off of a fantastic shot from the Pack 40 gun. And now there's a wounded Jackson. I didn't even see how that got Fausted, but... Oh, maybe it was mines? Yeah, I think it was mines, actually. I guess. I didn't see how that actually occurred. And the pack gun is taking shots. If he gets this Jackson right now... Oh, he gets the Jackson!
We just lost a medium tank.
Yeah, we just lost a medium tank. This game's wide open, because now the Tiger tank is going to come out with no Jackson to oppose it. He needs like 100 more manpower, so 30 seconds worth of income right here. And then the Tiger tank's going to come out, and the Tiger tank's going to look pretty handsome on the board right now. Let's face it, there's one M1 AT gun, and Overlord is like flat out of manpower right now. What the hell, Don't Know? This is so fun. Okay, I mean, like, it's still, though, one wrong and you're out, you know? Like, one bad engage against this vicious lineup of 1919... American infantry, the vast majority of which BT Dubs is now Vet 3, and, like, you know, he's going to be falling apart. You know, like, this could go so wrong in a heartbeat here. And look, this building's on very low health. Where's the pack howitzer right now? Okay, so the pack howitzer is in position to hit this building a bit. Man, the range on the pack howitzer is awful, isn't it? Anyway. The mortar's going to fall back. The pack needs to reposition as well. Flamer Dude's going to try and get into this building just to get some damage in. The Stug E continuing to chalk away at these rifleman squads, who actually are very clustered. I think Overlord needs to... There we go. He spreads his squads a bit, but one or two hits there, landing into a cluster of squads. Here comes Das Tiger Tank. And this is like... going to start doing real damage. The MG42 pintle mount upgrade is coming down in good time. And I think now might be a good time for Don't Know to just split a couple of his squads on and pressure the left flank of the map. There is one American squad over here, but it's just rear echelons with a detector, so, you know, they can be brushed aside by a, a light breeze. And, yeah, this Tiger Tank is now going to be on the rampage, and he finds the damn M1! And this is the only thing right now. If this M1 goes down, then the Tiger Tank can just park in the American base. He finds the M1 with the Stug. The Stug and the Tiger are going to push. He knows he's got a window here to try and take it. There is a Jackson being built, but he's got a good amount of time here. The captain is here with a Zoop, but that's not going to be enough. So he focuses the M1. The Tiger turret acquires it. Boom! There goes the M1. The Stug is here on backup, and there's just not enough AT here. So this Tiger Tank is looking real good. He could stay for more damage if he wants, but he's going to play it cautious. If I was him, I would have stayed and at least taken out the M1, but he's going to play this very cautiously. Fair enough. Ah, these riflemen as well, but getting caught out there of like Vet 3 assault grenadiers all over them, and they're going to go down. Wow, and the core of the American army is beginning to get taken out, and Overlord cannot afford to replace these squads. He just can't do it. He needs to be buying more AT. So every squad that goes down is going to be super crucial here, because then the infantry fight actually starts favoring Don't Know. And look, a 1919 has been dropped here as well. I don't know if he sees it. It is kind of behind this tree a bit, but if he sees that gun, that would be a very nice pickup. Okay, so the Jackson has arrived now. The Tiger and the Stug are going to be repaired. The scoreline now 445 over 245, so a 200-point lead for Don't Know, and the game starts to stabilize a little bit. There was a window there where that Tiger and the Stug push could have just taken the game, but, you know, Don't Know going to play this cautiously. Doesn't want to throw away a game which he's fought so hard for so far. Man, these three squads of Assault Grenadiers, 17 kills, 12 kills, the others falling back, so I can't tell you, but all 3-star vets. Don't Know actually making them look like reasonable combat units against American infantry with 1919 LMGs. Wow, okay, so he does grab a 1919 LMG of his own here, gets it onto this 3-star unit of Assault Grenadiers. So he does manage to pick that up and deny it from the American player, which, of course, is very important. Whoa, what the? 3-star Grenadiers in the building here, taking no prisoners, massacring the M1, and that's so important right now. He can now kill that if he wants to. The Jackson's going to come across and take some shots. Bang! Into the Stug E, which needs to make itself scarce, but the Tiger Tank's going to come in using the Stug E like a shield here. He needs to get the Stug E out now. Wow, the Jackson rolls a miss. That's pretty unlucky, and now the Tiger Tank has a shot here to take out the Jackson. Biff! The big cat mauling the American AT piece right now, and this is pretty much it. If the Jackson goes down, then the American player is back on the ropes again. There is a captain here supporting with a Zoop, but the Tiger is rolling hit after hit. An AT grenade comes down and breaks the big cat's engine, but the Stug, no, the pack gun chalks in the crucial blow and takes out the Jackson, and this Tiger is going to be able to exfiltrate now with a third of its health. He mows down the captain squad. This is a free-for-all out here. The blood is in the water, and Don't Know is like a school of sharks right now, tearing Overlord apart. This is brutal. How? How? What? Man, I wish I could play like this. Here comes the P-47. That's actually going to do a really good... That did a lot of damage to these Pioneers. Doesn't kill them. Does force them back, though, and that's really big. The Stug E comes on in, though, and takes out the ambulance. And, like, look, Don't Know knows that there's no AT, right? So he just comes in and just bites that off. And now look, it's 3 squads of riflemen, a major, and some rear echelons against like this blob of units you see in the top left of the screen here. And he takes out the M1 AT gun for good measure. The Tiger Tank's going to exfiltrate safely, and now he turns his attention to the left of the map. He knows that he has the upper hand. He has all the hands right now. Overlord doesn't even have the lower hand. A Jackson is going to be... So a third Jackson is going to be the choice, but I don't know, man. I mean, the Jackson micro and the positioning and usage has not been absolutely stellar from Overlord. I mean, it's been a bloody hard ask, to be honest, but, you know, those Jacksons could have been better. And now look, we've got all this excellent elite Axis infantry is just going to start taking the left of the map. There's no resistance, so that's going to turn blue pretty quickly. The Tiger tank's still exfiltrating here. These grenadiers have actually been left in a building that's on lowish health, but the pack howitzer was taken out, so that's probably okay. The pack howitzer is actually still in position here, and does it still exist, so Overlord should recruit that if he gets the chance. And it looks like Overlord is going to choose to defend the left flank here, but I don't know, this seems pretty risky because you know, if he... The left flank is very, very, very open, and the Tiger will really thrive in that open environment, but I mean, the Tiger's repairing, so maybe there's a window where he can get something done here. Just gonna have to excuse me for a second here, whilst I just blow my nose, sorry. Okay. And, wow, I mean, you know, Overlord's staying in this game, but he has definitely, like, fallen from the peak of his power. Rifle grenade going to come on in. Boom. Find some riflemen there. Very nice. These assault grenadiers with the LMG 1919 looking pretty good. We could see a pineapple here. Yeah, we do. So that's going to prompt the fallback here from Don't Know. Who, again, okay, I've seen him lose a pack gun this game, and that, I think, is it. Like, I can't remember seeing him drop any other squads yet. And he, remember how I said he was being very brave just using the one Stug E? And that Stug E now is on 23 kills, 3 stars of veterancy. Like, wow. This has been an almost perfect game, I think, from Don't Know. Who's now going up to tier 3. That's just the mark of a good player. Like, although this one is in the bag, right? Against if this game was still kind of, you know, a little closer, there could be a way for Don't Know to die by just, you know, relying on this Tiger too much and not having accompanying armor like a Panther or something to assist it. So, you know, if this was, let's say, you know, a tournament game and it was much closer and it was like the ace match of a best of 3 or something, this tacking up behind it, it's just good practice. This makes the difference between, you know, closing out a game that you're far ahead in and allowing your opponent a way back in. Oh god, the Tiger tank and the Stug E come in for the base. All of the American infantry here is here. All of the American infantry is here and on crucially low health. It has to forced to be run around the back of the base here. The Jackson's going to do what it can, but it looks like the Axis tanks here want to take out the base defenses. The Jackson actually beginning to do quite well. The pack gun does go down, so I worry that Don't Know overextending a little bit here. So that's now he's lost this pack gun twice now. The Tiger tank, whoa, needs to be careful. There's still a Jackson back there, buddy. You don't want anything to do with that. And Overlord is able to buy himself a bit of time here. That was I'm going to go ahead and say that was a bit of an overextension. Not only is he able to buy himself a bit of time, he's able to buy himself a pack gun, and he's also purchased himself another M1. So the AT forces for the American player have gone from being basically nothing to being a pack, an M1, and a Jackson. And that's pretty spiny. So that can actually keep Don't Know back. Now the trouble for Overlord is he's running out of time. You know, he's under a triple cap, he's at 134 tickets, under 445. So I still don't think this is enough, but the situation has definitely improved. With that last push into the base. The situation for the American player Overlord has definitely improved. The Axis infantry here gonna get out of there before the American forces slam home. And, you know, if Don't Know constructs his heavy panzer corps in his base and starts bringing out, you know, a Panther probably, that's going to start looking really good. Whoa, the Stug 3 taking some massive hits there. The Tiger tank forced to get back in the face of this much AT. Yeah, you can just see how the American player is actually able to bully his way around a bit, and he needs to prioritize capturing this point. He needs to capture this point. This is actually crucial right now. I don't even like trying to capture it with this pack gun whilst his infantry runs away, because this means he's going to bleed like another 18 or 21 victory points, just because he's had, or, you know, at least, well, maybe 15 or 18 victory points. Yeah, no, like 18 or more, yeah. So this, like, I'm not sure that was worth it at all. I mean, yeah, he gets to push on with his infantry, but, oh, I don't like that. Anyway, so these guys looking like they might be hung out to dry here. The retreat path is going to take them to the south, so they are probably going to be okay. Don't Know, playing that one pretty close. And Overlord's going to be pushing out this squad here into the north of the map here. He's going to grab this victory point. So Overlord playing quite cunningly now. Overlord, I think, has just suddenly realized that he's playing against a player who's very good, and he has upped his game in the last, like, three or 4 minutes. His decision-making has been very much better, I think. So these Grenadiers are going to run up on top of these echelons and just start gunning them down. There we go. Prioritizing keeping this point in Axis hands here. Very nice. And the echelons actually taking brutal amounts of damage. Grenadiers with LMG 42s, yeah, going to mow that squad down. So You have to feel for Overlord there. He didn't really have a lot of choice. And these riflemen are going to be deflected by the fearsome Tiger again, which is nearly at a star of veterancy. 18 kills on the big cat now. The heavy Panzer Corps has been established. There is enough unit cap for a Panther tank, just not quite the manpower. I think it's 490? Yeah, 490. So he's going to be able to build that Panther tank momentarily. A Sherman is going to be the choice here for Overlord. Remember, of course, he does still have a major, actually, who's out on the map capping right now. What a legend. So yeah, he's got that major on the field. He's going to have the Sherman. And if he can hold on somehow long enough to get a Calliope to match up with this Sherman and the Jackson, then he's in with a real shot. But I don't think he will, because he's on 55 tickets. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. There could still be some game left in this one. Here come the American infantry once again, though. They're going to be met by Grenadiers ×2 with a Stuggy in support, which is pretty brutal. Whoa! He's going to lose with this Grenadier squad, though. Is he? Oh, I think... Aha, okay. I feel like Don't Know got a bit lucky there. And the light artillery barrage comes down in a lovely position. But it doesn't actually catch any Americans. The Sherman just now rolling onto the field. Here it comes. These assault grenadiers going to get caught out. Nice grenades, though. Again, not really finding any Americans. Doing a little bit of damage. The mortar gets caught out. Here comes the Tiger, though, and the Stuggy. Tiger's going to engage into this Sherman. The Jackson and the M1 are here on support, though, so the Tiger's going to have to play it cautious. Yeah, immediately going down to like 2/3 health. And these assault grenadiers, whoa, just staying a little too long. A rifleman squad is killed somewhere. Sorry I didn't catch that one on camera. Possibly it was here, I think, actually. The Sherman now using HE rounds, I believe. No, using AP rounds, but still doing good damage to the infantry. The Tiger tank comes forward, and this seems ill-advised. A Panzerwerfer was the choice, and it's firing right now. He's taking shots into the American base, is he? Oh, that's a miss. That's a big miss there from Don't Know. And look, the American player, Overlord, is going to stabilize. He's going to take this point. The Sherman getting very aggressive here. Not sure about this. Oh, although he knows he can push the advantage, using the Sherman as an armored nose for the Jackson. This means that the Jackson can engage the Tiger and the Stuggy. So I have to say, I don't think I like the choice of the Panzerwerfer. I just don't think there were enough targets to make that worthwhile. I think a Panther was needed. And now he doesn't have the manpower for a Panther. So Don't Know is going to have to actually play this one out a little bit longer. I mean, he's at 445 over 32, so, you know, he's got time, and he does have a very tasty army here, but Overlord is actually getting back on his feet. As we roll up to, like, the 37-minute mark, the American vehicle crew is going to take a moment here just to repair. Uh-oh, risky. Here comes a big push out of German infantry with a mortar in support as well. They're going to find the tanks. There we go. So the American crew is forced back in. Boom. We're going to see some Fausts come down, though. There goes the engine. If he Fausts the Jackson as well. Oh, he's only got one squad of Grenadiers. Here's the other squad, so he can Faust this Jackson if these Grenadiers here get on top of it. Captain has been replaced and he's back on the field, so that's one more piece of AT. Whoa, these Grenadiers actually getting crushed a little bit by the engine-damaged Sherman. That's annoying. Are they going to try and Faust this Sherman? And they are. The Tiger tank is not repaired. But I feel like the Sherman may well be forfeit here. The M1AT gun gets recrewed by the Axis forces. Yeah, there goes the Sherman. And smoke. What did that? Oh, that smoke from the mortar? Don't know. You're a monster. Oh, dearie me. Don't know. Jeez. I'm sure I've cast Don't Know before, and I've not been this impressed by him. He's clearly on. He's a sharp cookie today, man. He's like had all the coffee or something. Like, this is insane. Panzerwerfer's ready for another barrage. Tiger tank and the Stuggy are nearly repaired and back out. And that surely will be the sledgehammer blow needed to close this game. 25 tickets remain right now, as you just heard from the announcer, for SoE Overlord. And the Jackson is on the ropes here, getting hounded down by a Panzerfaust and this captured M1, which is desperately trying to take out, but it's never going to happen, I think. Oh, there we go. The Jackson goes down, and surely that's it. I believe that'll be the moment when Overlord knows he's definitely out of this game. Such a valiant attempt there. Overlord nearly making another game of this. But I believe our winner today is going to be Don't Know. And I'm going to go ahead and start talking about this like the game is over. There's a Panzerwerfer barrage possibly going to seal the deal. If he's firing this here again, it's not going to be very good. Okay, well, you know, whatever. Doesn't really need to be good at this point in the game. So yeah, like I say, I'm going to go ahead and start talking like this game is over here. this was a fantastic game from Don't Know. As far as I know, he only lost 2 units, and it was the Pat gun both times. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think I saw him lose any other units. Now, he was partially lucky in that, but I would say it was 80-20 skill luck. And now he's just going to eviscerate the remaining units here. This really is game. And what a game from Don't Know. What a game. Making Assault Grenadiers look really good. And you know how I was saying how the American infantry just totally outclasses the Axis stuff that was on the field? You know, the 5-man squads of riflemen with 1919 LMGs. There we go. Finally SoE Overlord is going to choose this moment to quit the game. And yeah, and was, you've got to admit, defeated there. But yeah, you know how I was saying that the Grenadiers were just totally outclassed. The Assault Grenadiers and the regular Grenadiers with the LMG-42s were basically outclassed by the Riflemen with 5 men with the 1919 LMGs. You know, I was just thinking, you know, there's just no way. There is just no way that he's going to be able to take that. Well, somehow, Don't Know, was able to repeatedly repulse the advances of the American forces. And by, if I correct the tack, and by concentrating the Axis forces in just this area, okay, he was way behind on resources, but that actually didn't really matter because he was actually bleeding his foe out on victory points. Then by building a fuel cache or 2 here and here, he was actually not that far behind on resources. And he was so brave. He knew he could get by on 1 stug if he played it right, and he did get by on 1 stug. And then the Tiger tank came out, and there were just some absolutely savage plays from Don't Know. And then once he was absolutely certain he had the right flank on lockdown and the American player was definitely very much on the back foot, then he turned his attention to the left flank and just took that in the blink of an eye almost, because, you know, there was just no resistance to be heard of. And I feel like Don't Know there, just you know, a fantastic game, just a fantastic game. I'm like, colour me very impressed. I'll be looking out for more games from this character, because I'd like to see more. I don't know if this was just a freak good game. I don't know if he was just very lucky and he came out looking very good, because this isn't a player that people talk about. But, like, honestly, like, he didn't drop a squad, and there were so many, you know, the American player had grenades, there were pineapples, had 1919 LMGs, and when you're playing as Vermac with 4-man squads, to not lose a squad against that, like, that is very, very hard. So as you can tell, I'm quite impressed. I'm just quite impressed. So, yeah, that is going to conclude this battle. And what a game it was from Don't Know. You know, absolutely, I doff my hat to him. Massive respect. Overlord, buddy, you finished second in this one, but, you know, he's clearly a good player as well. And, you know, just basically outplayed this time. So yeah, another fantastic game there. Of course, there's going to be no TNTL this evening, but I will be uploading more videos in the near future, and hopefully uploading this weekend's NA ESL once Tightrope gets the VODs up. So stay tuned for that. And then this weekend, of course, there's going to be more ESL action. So yeah, keep your eyes on the channel for further updates. And for now, this is Magpie842 signing out.